Okay, let's get started. Quick recording here on how we're going to um, capture the video links and the titles so I can then load them onto the pages. And as you see here, here's an example of what's already been done on a page, and now I'm going to add to it. First thing I'll do is I will go to YouTube, and then I will put in the name of the player, and I'm going to be sending a list of the players. And I'm going to use as an example Devin Allen. And then you see there's a lot of choices that come up. And I'm going to go with highlights. And you'll get particular years, you'll get his track, you'll get individual games, individual plays. What we're looking for with all of these would be highlights. Now, something to be aware of is to look at who are these other players, and you'll want to write that down for 2014 and Charles Nelson, for example, as we thumb through. We don't want interview ones, and we don't want highlights in high school. No interviews or high school highlights. We just want highlights here. Now, if there are no highlight reels, a couple of individual plays, 5 to 10 of them, is fine. And so, and you can see here, there's Darren Carrington. He's not somebody that we want to have. And in fact, this is something to check, would be this popular videos one. And anyway, getting back up here, usually the best ones are at the top. Now what's interesting is you've seen what's here. Now I'm going to put in there Devin Allen Oregon highlights. And there actually, it opens up a few more. And then I will actually put in the word video highlights. And believe it or not, look at that. You will sometimes get different ones based on the wording. And so that's why, and I'm going to send it to you in an email, I use the player's name, then highlights, and then the player's name Oregon highlights, and the player's name Oregon video highlights. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at this one. Okay. And I don't exactly know who made this, but what I do is I breeze through it. What I'll do is I'll turn off the mute, and I'll take a look. I'll thumb through it and take a look at what he's got. And that actually looks pretty good. Okay, so with that, then what I want to do is I now copy and paste the title, and you got to be careful that you don't trigger others beyond other things being copied other than the title, because I've done that before and it creates a big mess. And then I come back here and I have another, I have the tab at the top, obviously, of YouTube, and I have the tab open and ready of the post in WordPress. And then I paste it, and when you paste it in, it's going to be large size like that. And so what you want to do is you want to come up here to heading and then click on paragraph, and then click on bold, the B for bold. And then I will click outside of that, and it will, and now it's there. And then I'll put my cursor at the end of where it says HD, and then you hit, if you just hit a normal enter, it'll double space, and we don't want that. We want it right directly underneath. So I go back, I go back, and then I hit on the left side shift and hit enter at the same time, and now it goes single space. Okay, now I've got single space. Now I go back to the Devin Allen tab, and I click on share, and then when this share comes up, I go up here and I click on embed. I take that back. We do not want embed for this time around. We want to click on share, and then we have this copy. Actually click on copy, and then go ahead and copy that, and then come back to your post and put it in there like that. Now, we're not done. We've got it in there, But now we need to have a link. So what we do is that we now highlight what we just put in there. We come up here and we click, make sure it's bolded, and then we underline it. And the way we do that is we, on the far left in the corner, we hit Control and then the letter U at the same time, and it underlines it. Then we come up here to the toolbar where it says Insert Edit Link, and you click on that, and then below that a bar will open, and usually it'll automatically populate in there. And so what that's doing is that's attaching that link to those letters. Then we're not done. This is very important. You click the link, the little gearbox there. You click the little gearbox, and then this window opens. And up here it's crucial. You click Open Link in New Tab, and then you click Update. What this means, Open Link in New Tab, this means that the link you're attaching, if somebody clicks that link, a new page will open with that video on it, and they still have the original page. We don't want them to leave fishduck.com. We want to create an extra page. And so with that, let's come up here, and then always after you're done with that, you click on Save Draft over here to the far right. Click on Save Draft. And now let's go over here to the preview. You don't have to do this every time, but I'm showing you. And then in preview, I'm going to click on this, and you see now it'll pull up the YouTube. Okay? But yet at the same time, there we are. This is still there. In other words, they're not actually, the original page is still there, and they've got the second page of the YouTube. And that's what we want. Is we don't want them to technically leave. We want them to stay there with us. Now, let's go back to our post. Okay. Now, when we start out, notice here Jalen Jokes video highlights. Okay. I want to do the same thing here. When you start with a new player, you want to have the same kind of title there set up. And to do that, you come up here to paragraph. Excuse me, you click on heading 2. You click on heading 2 and bold. And you write in Devin Allen video highlights. And the reason why I write it that way is in order to give us exposure in the searching by YouTube. And then down here we want to underline it, so you hit Control to the far bottom left, and U, and bingo, we got it underlined again. Okay? Now from this point, what I do is I now go look for another video. Okay? And so I'll come back here to where we were, and let's see, that was Untouchable. Here's another one. Now, are we gonna? It looks like okay. He's interviewing, but it looks like a whole bunch of highlights. Okay, good. All right. So I'm gonna click on that, and I'm gonna get the title here. Oops. Look at over the far right here. How when you go too far, you don't want to copy all that. Trust me, I've messed with that before. And there we go. It's too big. So now I highlight it, come up here, click on paragraph, bold. Sometimes you get a line like that, you just click on it and it goes away. Or you have to add it to whatever. Anyway, not a big deal. Now I'm going to hit Shift and Enter at the same time, and it's single spaces. Go back to the YouTube, come over here to Share, click on Copy, copy and paste that. And boom, we've got a second one, almost. Now I've got to highlight that, make sure it's on bold. It is. Click Control U to underline it. Come back up here to Insert Link. Okay, there it is. Hit the gearbox, the link options. Make sure I click on that little square which says Open Link in a New Tab. Click Update. Boom. We've just done 2. And always hit Save Draft. We're not publishing. Don't go anywhere near that blue Publish button. You know, you don't need to categorize anything. You don't have to worry about any of the rest of this. Now, if you were making an article, yes, you would, but we're not doing this. This is just it's a place to deposit the different video links that you're collecting, and then I'll take it from here, because you have to be an admin to actually load them onto the pages, and it won't take very long to do that. Something else you want to take a look at is when you're actually looking at these, take a look at down here what is being recommended, because sometimes you will find a player that or another video that you want to look at. Maybe this Devin Allen track football mixtape is alive. And so anyway, and then if we have, just like I say, just a few plays, if they played in the NFL, yes, some highlights from their NFL career is good, but not a million of them. Okay, I really don't want to see more than 10 listings of a particular player, unless they're Marcus Mariota, something like that. We also will go to Vimeo.com and check videos there as well on the same people. And then finally, here is a guy, Mad Mike 1951. He made all kinds of different videos, and primarily of games. But here you see, there we are, Thomas Tyner, Brian Marshall, DeAnthony Thomas, LaMichael James. So I come up here to the playlists. I click on playlists, and now you can start thumbing through all the different ones that they have. And let's stick with major names of that year. Like Daryl Hawkins is not exactly a star, but yeah, Farrell Brown is okay, and you get the idea. We're looking for the major players that made an impact, where there's enough to justify, putting these up. So with that, I think that